This is also interesting. And if we had a functioning press that understood that the important story here is less about Donald Trump's tweets and more about the enabling of Donald Trump by Paul Ryan and the reasons why Paul Ryan is doing it, we would hear more about this indiscretion of Donald Trump's here at that same luncheon at Trump International Hotel, where he retells a story about Paul Ryan's strategy going forward.
Starting to really, really love Paul. We're doing I just want to let the world know we're doing very well together. We agree. I had one thing, he called me up, he said, do me a favor now, maybe, and this was like 2 days ago, he said, let's not talk about the taxes publicly because we want to do this one first. We're going to work on health care. It's very complicated stuff. And I said, I know that. But the problem is I gave an interview about 5 or 6 days before to the Wall Street Journal. So I said, absolutely, I think you're right. I'm not going to talk about taxes. And the following morning, this was an evening call. The following morning, it came out, Trump on taxes, talking about those. So I called Paul, I said, believe it or not, that interview was given 5 days ago. But Paul Ryan's done a great job.
He has, this is the way that he deals with his defensiveness. And what's interesting about that is he seems to be genuinely nervous about getting on Paul Ryan's bad side there, right? Like, this is something that he feels like he has to publicly, that's his way of making an apology publicly. And you got to wonder what's going on there, that maybe he has an awareness that, like, the Republicans in the House and the Senate, for that matter, could make things a little bit hairy for him. I don't know if that has anything to do with all of the investigations going on, but there's only one way that Donald Trump gets impeached, and that's when Paul Ryan et al. Decide it's time to impeach him.
Do you remember? You're raising much bigger points, but do you remember the story that Michael Moore used to tell about how when he first encountered Trump in person, it may have even been like the late 90s, a very long time ago. And before they went on the show they were going on together, Trump sort of pulled him aside and was like, we're just going to have fun out there, right? Like, you're not really going to, like, basically take me to task and, do what you do. Like, for all of the bluster and all of the bullshit when it came, and again, and the same thing was when he went to Peña Nieto and the president of Mexico. I mean, in person, he could have not been more obsequious. So that does seem to be a pattern with him. And I mean, I agree with you in terms of his sort of upcoming conflict with Paul Ryan, but at some level, you got to think that all of these guys are sitting there like, well, as soon as we decide that it matters that, what happened with Paul Manafort, Russia, and your election, then you're gone.
We got a good plan B. Yeah. I mean, right now, you are, this is exactly what you want, right? If you're a Paul Ryan, a lightning rod at the top of the ticket who is distracting everybody, who's going to sign everything you bring, which he said at a different point in that same luncheon. I'm going to sign. I told him, bring whatever you want. I'll sign it. And he's Paul Ryan is basically in the catbird seat right now.
To make America poorer, sicker, and dumber, which is their agenda. And so it's it's a balance, and I know we talk about it all the time, like focusing on the specific threats that he poses. But I think we have to start kind of not getting worried about him having a tantrum about Meryl Streep or something.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.